Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we'll talk about this problem on LeetCode. Overall, what we do have to do is to find out the median salary for every single employee. Now, overall, if you look at it with respect to median problems, these are basically of 2 to 3 types. One, where you have been given a particular set, and then you have to find the median for this particular set. Second thing, when you have been given this a particular set, but which is also having some other kind of bucketing or partitioning, and you need to find out median for each of the different groups. So something like this. What we have to do in this case is to find out the median for A individually and B individually, and post that there could be further compute. Also beyond this, the next important median type question would be in the format where you have been given a frequency and then a number associated with it could be maybe 0, 1, 2, 3, which could be number of times a search has been made. And this one would be the frequency of how many people have done that particular number of searches. In today's video, we will be talking specifically about the first one. If you can understand how to get a median for this, the second part is basically just doing a partition by on top of that method. So quickly, let's go about doing this particular problem. So the first thing when we have to calculate median is to find out a way where we can have or extract the middle two rows. So first thing that we need to do is to find out so a standard way of doing this is to basically put a row number for each of the different partitions, and then we'll get the count of each of the different partition, overall the number of rows that are there. So in this case, next thing that we have to do is do a partition by. Now partition by we are doing because we have to get median for different companies individually. So all the A's, all the B's, and then all the C's. We need to get these numbers individually. So I'll copy paste this section and then also do an order by. Now how median is calculated is we need to sort by the entire set and then choose the middle two numbers. So that's why the order by salary is required, because that's the question is we need to find the median for the different salaries. Now coming over to this part, all we now need to do is to get the partition by also correct, because we need to have the overall count for the different rows that we are extracting. Now beyond this, what I will do, finally we'll have to take an average of the numbers that we are getting. I'll put a star for now just so that it'll be easier to debug in case required. Where we'll have to give some alias to this as rn, as cnt. So first thing, let's just quickly run this and see the output for this particular section of the code that we have already written. What we can see is we are getting out the row number and it is sorted over salary. Also, we are getting the overall count of A's. So if I look at A, it should be in total 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's an extra sixth one out here. Okay, now what we need to do finally is to find a way that we can extract fifth and the sixth one. So what we will do is basically we'll take Rn, we'll put it as between, and then what we need to do is over count, we need to divide it by 2.0, and then we need to make it between 2.0, and then we need to do an additional 1 on top of it. Once we do this particular section of the where clause, we'll find that A 5th, 6th, B 12th, 19th. So it's already sorted and we are able to get out only the median rows associated. One extremely important thing is to divide it by 2.0 and not 2 directly. If you put in 2 directly, I'll show you what could be potentially happening. So you'll see the C kind of gets repeated, and that is because how SQL goes about turning any individual numbers which are divided by an integer. It'll convert it into a math.floor format. I won't go into details of that too much, but overall, if you don't divide it by the decimal point also or the float number itself, you will have an error in your overall output. Now, once I divide it by 2.0, we are able to extract the right rows and the right columns. Finally, what we have to do is to make sure we are not putting in Rn and Cnt. So finally, I can just choose these particular rows, and I'll have to just replace the pipes with commas. Now I'll put submit and the overall solution should work. Yep. So we are able to get the solution working. So overall, this is how we go about solving a median problem, is to basically put a row number for first thing we need to sort, then we need to put a row number, and then also take the overall count. We do a count over directly, but we do not do an order by here, just because we don't need an increasing number. We just need the overall count. In this case, how it was coming as 66666 earlier. So if I put in if I remove these conditions, what you will see is how we are getting the 6 repeated over and over again. That is what we want, because later on we'll be able to compare Rn and then we'll divide it by 2.0, which is trying to find the middle number or the middle 2 rows. We make sure that we have this extra decimal point and then an extra 0, just to make sure that we are able to get the overall output in a float format, because otherwise the output won't really work for sequences which have a total number of odd number of numbers. Anyways, so yeah, we'll add back this particular condition, and then what we do is to find numbers which is basically between division by 2.0 would bring up this to 3 and this one to 3 plus 1 4. So that's why we are getting A 3 and 4. Similarly, if you look at it, B also we should be able to get 12 and 9. Specifically, if you should be also taking care of when we divide 5 by 2.0, it will be 2.5. So this particular row would be getting out. Now I'll run this again, and we already know that the output was working. So yeah, so I'll stop the recording. Overall, this is how we go about solving a median related problem.